morning everyone and welcome to the Financial Inclusion Week 2024. I'm Jonathan Batangan, Executive Director of Cebuana Luwilier Foundation, the CSR arm of PGLI Group, which operates Cebuana Luwilier, the Philippines' largest microfinancial services provider with 3,500 branches nationwide and various digital platforms. I'll be your moderator for today's session. Today, we'll dive into from information to inclusion to impact, or I to I to I, tackling Cebuana's tech brick ecosystem for empowerment. We will explore how Cebuana Luwilier has positioned itself as a leader in financial inclusion in the Philippines through a robust ecosystem combining microinsurance, money transfer, microbanking, and microentrepreneurship. Cebuana Luwilier has transformed the financial landscape for millions of underserved Filipinos. Joining me today are Dennis Valdez, President of Cebuana Luwilier Bank; Erlinda Sumanga, First Vice President and Group Head of Money Transfer Group; Anthony Bernabe, First Vice President and Group Head of Cebuana Luwilier Insurance Brokers Incorporated; and Annette Tirol, Senior Vice President and Group Head of Microentrepreneurship, Cebuana Kanegosyo Center. Let's kick things off by discussing how Cebuana Luwilier's unique ecosystem fosters inclusion and innovation. To start, let's talk about Cebuana Luwilier Tech Brick ecosystem, which is key to how the company supports financial inclusion. Each of you plays a vital role in ensuring that your services reach even the most underserved population. Dennis, Cebuana Luwilier Bank has been crucial in building a culture of savings among Filipinos, especially through your Ipunario initiative. How has Cebuana's approach to microbanking set it apart from other financial institutions in the country?
That's a great question, Jonathan. We took a four-pronged approach to provide our services to our clients. So first is accessibility. We made sure that our services are available in the more than 3,500 branches of Cebuana Luwilier. We also made our mobile app called eCebuana so that our customers who are more digitally savvy can have that channel to access. We also have our own bank branches. So that's having a hub and spoke approach wherein if the transactions are no longer covered by our pawn shop branches, our bank branches can handle that. And of course, going to our grassroots, having those activities where we go to the communities, to the barangays, the local communities. We share to them what are the best practices in terms of saving, in terms of how to do or how to facilitate payments, and also other initiatives that will ensure their financial wellness in the future.
Thanks, Dennis. That's a fascinating look at how Cebuana Luwilier Bank is transforming the banking landscape for underserved communities. Now, Earl, money transfer is one of Cebuana Luwilier's flagship services. What makes Cebuana Pera Padala unique in the money transfer space, especially in providing critical financial support during emergencies like the pandemic?
Cebuana Luwilier has always positioned itself as a leader in the money transfer and payment space. This allows us to focus specifically on accessibility and reliability of our services. Our wide network spanning over 3 million touchpoints globally, 3,500 branches, and over 25,000 agent locations allow us to serve Filipinos whether they live abroad or in the bustling cities and even in the rural areas. Our customer-first approach has earned us trust across generations of Filipinos. So by offering competitive fees, real-time transactions, and unparalleled network that's always within reach of our customers.
Thank you, Earl. That's an impressive overview. Cebuana has truly become a trusted name in money transfer for so many Filipinos. Now, let's hear from Anthony. Cebuana Luwilier has positioned itself as a pioneer in microinsurance, contributing to the Philippines' high microinsurance penetration rate. What sets Cebuana's microinsurance products apart in terms of innovation and accessibility?
That's a good question, Jonathan. Really, we see our microinsurance products as really tailor-fit products that are customized to the needs of the Cebuana Luwilier clients. We basically get the best of what the industry can offer and then try to sachet it and provide it through our extensive distribution channels, making it very simple for the common customer to understand, and of course, no, for our people who sell the product to be really good at it repeatedly. Because in order for us to be able to reach so many clients, we have to be able to scale up by the simplicity of the product, reaching its value proposition to our customers.
What a compelling perspective on how Cebuana's microinsurance provides affordable and accessible protection for those who need it most indeed. Moving on to Annette, entrepreneurship is key to economic growth, and the Ka-Negosyo Center plays a vital role in empowering our MSMEs. How has Cebuana Ka-Negosyo Center created unique opportunities for small entrepreneurs to grow? And what's the most important value proposition you offer to them?
You know, Jonathan, we are so proud and passionate about our Ka-Negosyo Center. We work with both the private and the public sector. And our thrust is to make a difference in the financial journey of an agri, MSME, an online seller, a sari-sari store owner, and so many other Filipinos who dream of starting and growing their business. It's anchored on the ability to coach them through that journey, both practical and online. It's about making sure they have the right products they need along that journey. We don't want them to have too many products when they don't need it. We want to make sure it's the right product bundle that they actually have. And so for us, it's really listening to the customer and ensuring the value is the value that they need at that point in time. Because we want them to grow, we want them to start becoming entrepreneurs.
Thanks for that interesting take, Annette. The Ka-Negosyo Center's approach really equips micro-entrepreneurs to thrive. Cebuana's approach to affordability and accessibility. Now, let's dive deeper into one of the key elements of Cebuana Luwilier's success, making financial services affordable and accessible. For Cebuana Luwilier Bank, Dennis, how has the challenge of affordability been uniquely addressed, particularly in providing savings and microloans to low-income clients?
How we approach this problem is we came up with a revolutionary product. If I recall, this was back in 2019, and there was a new policy that was released by the central bank, and we launched our banner product, which is called the Cebuana Luwilier Micro Savings. Through this account, with just $1, you can now have all the benefits of a fully serviced banking account, and this is accessible through all our 3,500 branches nationwide. So those that were formerly unbanked are now within the formal financial services ecosystem already. So we are bringing already our banking transactions to the local communities.
How about with money transfer services, Earl? While they can often be costly, Cebuana Luwilier has managed to keep them affordable. How do you maintain this affordability while expanding access to these services in rural areas?
Yeah, Cebuana Luwilier really operates effectively by maximizing our physical and our digital infrastructure. Our extensive branch network, especially in rural areas, reduces the need for customers to travel to long distances for their basic financial needs. So this reduces cost on both ends. Customers don't incur unnecessary travel expenses. And in many of these regions, Cebuana Luwilier is the only financial service provider, making us a critical enabler of financial mobility for millions of Filipinos. At the same time, our digital platform such as eCebuana allows clients to access our money transfer services through their mobile phones. This combination of physical reach and digital innovation is how we maintain affordability for all, particularly for those in the underserved communities.
Now, moving on to Anthony, Cebuana Luwilier Insurance Brokers has brought insurance to millions of Filipinos who might otherwise never have had access. What unique strategies do you use to ensure that your microinsurance products are both affordable and relevant to their needs?
Well, affordability is really a function of how much customers would match the value that we offer. The unique strategy is really, making it simple and basic so that we are able to communicate it well matching it to their needs. Now, if you look at also how we develop the products, it's basically not taking what's available in the market and getting what is really needed by the market, and that makes the product affordable. Now, in terms of distribution, we really look at the different ways on how customers would appreciate a product. So it could be all digital, it could be physical, it could be the advice of an advisor. So we really explore these different channels in terms of matching the different needs of the different segments we serve and offer these different products. Because insurance is not just one product, it's a whole suite of protection products depending on the risks that each and every individual has in their lives. So I would say we are the insurance provider, the broker that really represents the client interests. We really look at what the client needs, and we don't really sell them something that they don't need, making sure that this product will really protect them in the future.
We also have the Cebuana Ka-Negosyo Center. Annette, what are some ways the Ka-Negosyo Center ensures that micro-entrepreneurs, particularly in rural areas, can afford and access the support they need to grow their businesses?
We make sure that businesses are protected properly, that they get the protection they need for the size of their business. So we work very closely with Anthony. We appreciate the fact that he custom makes the insurance so that it's not too much and it's affordable for what they need for the size of the business that they have. In the same way, we leverage Dennis and the bank. Imagine they can start with $1. They can start their banking experience. They can start thinking about banking even for themselves and their employees. And very important to us are the money flows. Some of our entrepreneurs don't even realize they can have additional revenue streams. By working with Earl, we have a partnership where they can actually continue to have their business, but now be agents that actually facilitate money transfer. And that creates more revenue for them. So imagine you work with a Ka-Negosyo coach and you're able to leverage such a vast network from insurance, money transfer, and banking services. That's the Ka-Negosyo Center powered by Cebuana.
The impact of Cebuana Luwilier's financial ecosystem on inclusion. Now that we've covered approach and accessibility, let's talk about the broader impact Cebuana Luwilier has had on financial inclusion in the Philippines. Dennis, what would you say has been the most significant impact of Cebuana Luwilier Bank in improving financial inclusion for Filipinos?
The impact actually is that now we have nearly 9 million clients who are unbanked no more. And to further strengthen that, we've actually released this year our Ipon Box. Now, through this Ipon Box, our clients are able to monitor them on a weekly basis or even on a monthly basis, and we made it much more fun by gamifying it. So really, the idea there is that our customers would now inculcate this, or this now becomes a habit for them to continue saving. And the end goal really is that savings now becomes a habit.
For money transfers, Earl, these services often serve as lifelines for families. How has Cebuana Pera Padala's unique value proposition contributed to the financial resilience of Filipino families, especially during times of crisis?
You know, Jonathan, during crises like the pandemic, financial stability is vital. And Cebuana Luwilier has played a crucial role in helping these families stay connected. So many families relied on money transfers from loved ones during the pandemic, and the availability of our branches during those challenging months meant that more money stayed in the hands of recipients when they needed it most. Our vast network has stayed open, became even more essential during this period. So with movement restrictions in place, many areas faced limited access to financial services. And Cebuana's presence in areas where traditional banks were not able to operate allowed us to serve communities that might have been otherwise cut off from these financial lifelines. We were one of the few financial services that remained accessible throughout the pandemic, offering both physical cash pickups and digital transfers through our e-wallet partnerships. Trust also played a big role. In uncertain times, people need to know their money will arrive safely and on time. Our long-standing reputation for reliability and security gave customers peace of mind, enabling them to weather the crisis, knowing that Cebuana was there to support them.
Now, let's move on to our insurance products and services. Anthony, how has the availability of microinsurance changed the financial security of vulnerable families and communities?
Insurance provides resiliency. For most people, they save money, but they get to use it, and that's for their future, but they need it for now. Without insurance, they stop pursuing their goals, the reason why they set aside money in the future. So it is important for people to really have this protection so they don't really derail their future that they have planned for, and still look after today, which they want to be resilient to. So insurance is really something that bridges the gap between now and in the future, and make sure that everyone can achieve their goals.
Actually, Anthony, that is so significant for small business owners. Usually their savings, the pot of money for their business is all together. And imagine when they're hit with a fire or an emergency for the family in terms of health. Everything goes out the window. And getting them to come back and invest in their business is so difficult. So protection actually shields them. It insulates them so that they can continue to grow their business. It's such a powerful combination, and it's so affordable. But many people think they can't afford insurance. Many people think it's too lofty. I should only get it for a big business. But in reality, every business deserves to be protected so that they can grow.
What about the Ka-Negosyo Center, Annette? How has it empowered micro-entrepreneurs to not only start their businesses, but also grow them sustainably, contributing to financial inclusion?
You know, Jonathan, many providers provide funding. Many banks are out there wanting to help MSMEs in funding. But very few say, I will fund you and I will stay with you to coach you. So you can fund an entrepreneur, but he has no idea how to do a P&L. He is clueless on how to manage his cash flow. Who's going to help him? Where does he go? We uniquely positioned ourselves to say we will fund you and we will walk the talk with you. We will be there to teach you the most practical tips, even insurance, which we talked about earlier. The fact that most businesses will think, I'm an online seller. Why do I need insurance? Why should I think about where my goods are, how I'm storing my goods, what happens if my goods get lost? The reality is most entrepreneurs need a mentor, need someone to coach them through that process. So that's what we are. And our promise is this: 7,100 islands of the Philippines, we will be there. Cebuana is there, Ka-Negosyo is there to protect you and to ensure your dream of opening a business, starting a business, growing your business for your family, and one day telling your children, I give you this business. That dream should be simple. That dream should be accessible. And that is what we stand for in Ka-Negosyo Center.
All right, there have been plenty of key takeaways, and I'm sure our audience has learned a lot so far. As we near the end of this session, let's focus on a key aspect of any financial inclusion initiative: measuring and sustaining impact. Cebuana Lhuillier has played a pivotal role in expanding financial services to underserved communities, but it's essential to ensure that these efforts create lasting, meaningful change. I'd like each of you to reflect on how your group measures its impact and ensures that these gains are sustained over the long term. Let's start with you, Dennis. How does Cebuana Lhuillier Bank measure the impact of its microsavings services in improving financial literacy and access to banking for low-income families?
The first metric that we used was account penetration. And as of this 2024, we've hit nearly 9 million customers already. We've opened 9 million accounts. And I think that's the important start for them to be included. Now, the next metrics that we're looking is their savings growth, right? How often do they use their savings account? Because they can just open an account but not use it. I think where the proof to the pudding really is how often they use these accounts. Because yes, they may just park their funds there and actually withdraw it, but I think what's more important is teaching them that there are also ways for them to use it more efficiently. For example, they can use their card to go to a grocery store and make their payments. Or they can use our eCebuana mobile app and they can do funds transfer already. So I try to look at it at seeing, other than the penetration, what is the usage, right? And using all the auxiliary services. Especially with our eCebuana app, wherein we're trying to bring in all the financial services of Cebuana Luwilier all together in one mobile application. I think the next steps that we're really looking at is what is the propensity of our customers to use a certain service. Or I would also like to see what do our customers want? What is very important for them, right? Because I think where Cebuana Luwiliers, where what's relevant or what's important for Cebuana Luwilier clients is that we are providing relevant financial services to them, relevant financial products and relevant financial services. So that becomes our guide to further improve our product offerings. Similar to Annette's initiatives in Kanegosyo Center, what's important for the bank or what we are putting as part of our culture is financial literacy. From financial literacy, we're hand-holding them from financial inclusion to financial empowerment and ultimately to financial wellness. Because at that level of financial wellness, they already understand what type of product or service that they need in their current financial situation. I think that's where the relevance of Cebuana Luwilier is. In every step of their financial progress, we are there to guide them. We are there to coach them. And we are there to service them.
Earl, money transfers provide essential support for many Filipino families. How do you measure the impact of Cebuana Pera Padala on family financial security, and what strategies are in place to ensure this support continues to meet evolving customer needs?
We all know, Jonathan, that here in Cebuana, we continuously listen to the ever-changing needs of our customers. And one way is through metrics. These are critical in shaping how we measure our impact and refine the services of Cebuana Luwilier. One key metric for us is the frequency of use. By tracking how often customers use our financial products, we can gauge both the demand for our services and the financial health of our users. A high frequency indicates that customers trust our system for regular transactions, which tells us we're offering a reliable service, particularly in regions where alternative financial options are very limited. Customer feedback is another powerful tool for measuring our success. By listening to our customers, whether it's through surveys, service reviews, or direct interactions, we gain insight into their evolving needs and preferences. This helps us fine-tune our offerings, whether by adjusting service fees, improving user experience, or expanding our services in newer regions. Feedback also keeps us agile, allowing us to address any issues quickly and maintain a high level of customer satisfaction. Service reliability is arguably the most important metric. We continuously monitor our expected service uptimes. Availability builds trust, ensuring that our customers feel secure in using our services time and time again. Reliable services are especially important in the underserved areas, where disruptions in access to funds can have severe consequences for families. Lastly, affordability and expanding access go hand in hand with these metrics. So by keeping fees competitive, we reduce barriers to entry and ensure more Filipinos have access to financial services. Our goal is to continually monitor these metrics and align them with our mission of improving financial mobility, ensuring that the underserved regions are very well supported.
Anthony, microinsurance plays a critical role in providing financial protection. How do you assess the real-world impact of your microinsurance products, and how do you ensure they remain relevant and accessible to vulnerable communities?
You know, John, there are three measures that we really look at. Out of the many measures that you can think of in terms of insurance relevance, of course, number one would be the number of products bought. And that's important. The more you sell, the more you increase penetration. And of course, you benchmark against previous periods. So we really look at that, coming from the first million that we sold in 1 year to now doing millions in a month. So we benchmark ourselves to continuously improve our push for penetration. Number two would be really looking at the quality of the purchase. How our people sold it. So we basically do callbacks from people who bought insurance policies to make sure that they understood what they bought. Oftentimes, the reason why people don't continue paying their insurance policies is because they don't remember what they really bought and they didn't understand what it is for. So we have to make sure when they buy something, they know they can claim something from it. So that's important. So that person will not only renew that policy, but someday upgrade it, because as they go through the life stages, they will need to increase their coverages. And number three, we really look at the claims part. If a product really has no claim, then we tell the insurer we have to change the benefits of the product, because we don't want to earn a single cent from products that really don't benefit the client. At the same time, if the claims are too excessive, then we are the ones who go back to the insurer and tell them, you cannot sustain this product. We are giving false hopes to our clients. So we have to reprice it to make sure that it is a sustainable product that they can continue to renew and to renew. So basically, all these three things helps us to target our goal that makes insurance more relevant to our customers.
Annette, supporting micro-entrepreneurs is key to long-term economic resilience. How does Cebuana Kanegosyo Center measure the impact of its support programs, and what strategies ensure micro-entrepreneurs continue to thrive?
When we look at the measures that we need to put in place to see if we're really making an impact to our communities, I would say there are two pillars. One would be the breadth, and the other would be the depth of our impact. Let's take a look at the breadth. Are you present in all the provinces? If a man who lives in a fisher village wants to actually start his business, does he have access to financing? Does he have access to coaching? To us, that is a must. We must serve every Filipino with a dream in 7,100 islands. The second is the depth. What have we done in terms of coaching? Today, I'm proud to say we have coached over 2 million Filipinos. A year ago, KNC did not exist. Today, we have 2 million people whose dreams are starting, whose journey for financial inclusion, financial empowerment, and financial freedom has begun. We are with them. Some will take slower pace, others will take a faster pace, and that's okay, as long as they're taking a step every day. And for us, that is a measure of success.
As a final question to each of you, let's explore sustainability. Financial inclusion is not just about access. It's about ensuring that today's solutions have a lasting impact. What is one key strategy your group is using to ensure the long-term sustainability of Cebuana Luwiliers' financial inclusion efforts?
When you look at financial inclusion across different countries and regions, the biggest mistake is to think you can do it alone. It's not the task of the bank or money transfer or insurance or entrepreneurs alone to actually create a long-term runway. That happens when you work as an ecosystem. That happens when you stop and you start to listen to your consumer. And then you start understanding which bundles across the group make sense for that consumer at that point in time. When banks and financial institutions like ourselves stop thinking in silos and start thinking, we all serve a single consumer. And that consumer benefits from us working together and actually making a difference in his journey. I think that's where the power is, and that's where longevity comes in. So it's not about a product sold. It's about a journey that we are walking with the consumer, whether he's starting to save, sending money, taking in his first or even second or third insurance product. It's because he understands that we are there with him across that journey. And that's really the power of sustainability. I'm not sure what Anthony would think, but to me, I think that is extremely important.
Well, Annette, you pulled the words out of my mind. Basically, we cannot do this alone. This is not just within us, but it is our role, and what we are doing right now is influence our partners, influence our suppliers, influence the people that we work with behind the scenes. For me, for insurance, you're basically working with 130 insurance companies. If you take the lead and tell them this is the right direction, all their resources and efforts going towards that direction, I think financial inclusion will really happen in the future. And that's our role as Cebuana Lhuillier. We need to be the guy who leads everyone to that promised land.
So Anthony, I couldn't agree more. Partnerships is really the key. So here at Cebuana Lhuillier, we continue to serve the ever-changing needs of our customers by continuously iterating the different products and services that we offer.
And to pick up with what everyone said, right? I think where the bank plays a role here with Cebuana Lhuillier is we are now the financial consolidator. All the services we can bring together through our channels, through our products. Okay, there is one central point where our customers, whether it's partners or individual clients, have access to their accounts. And through those accounts, they can now avail of our different products and services. So again, it brings it all together. And that's where I think the strength of Cebuana Lhuillier is. We're not strong on an individual basis, but it's because of the sum of all our parts.
It's clear that Cebuana Lhuillier's integrated and holistic approach to financial inclusion across microbanking, money transfer, microinsurance, and microentrepreneurship not only provides immediate access to essential financial services, but also creates lasting impact for millions of Filipinos. Thank you to all our panelists for sharing these valuable insights. Through innovation, adaptation, and a focus on sustainability, Cebuana Lhuillier is ensuring that its financial inclusion initiatives lead to long-term financial wellness and empowerment. To wrap things up, I want to express my gratitude to our audience for joining us today, and I encourage everyone to stay engaged and continue this important conversation. Enjoy the rest of the Financial Inclusion Week.